Ahoy me hearties, and as you may or may not know, we do have a brand new clan event that is coming to DML on Monday the 15th, and this is Emerald Wars. So this is sort of like an old clan event, but there are quite a few changes coming to it. So we do have a new style of clan event to get used to, and that will be basically the next clan event that we get. So they said, read more about the new clan event here, shock face, and then if you go onto the forums here, this pretty much explains the gist of the event, so it's quite a lot of reading, but you know, just like with the Bottomless dungeon, it's important that we understand how this works before we get it, even though it'll probably be completely different to how we expect. But Andrews here said, hello, the Emerald Wars starts Monday at 9, similarly to other clan events, it will run for 4 days. So it lasts for 4 days of the week, nothing too special. So participation and matchmaking. Clans participate by default to the Emerald Wars. Similarly to the clan siege, 2 clans compete with each other to reach higher scores than the rival and come out on top at the end of the event. So that's exactly the same as it currently is. Objectives. Completing clans fight for the control of 5 emerald mines throughout the whole event. So we've got like 5 towers that we're trying to fight over. Is it like you know, fight for the zone sort of style, I guess. So controlled mines produce emeralds every minute, and the ultimate goal is to collect more emeralds than the rival clan in the end. Players collect battle score by attacking mines and defeating opponent teams. Each mine has its own battle score counter, and the clan that collected higher battle score altogether will control it. Makes sense. Vicious fights grant players emeralds besides battle score. Oh, sorry, I said vicious, I meant victorious. Whoa, that is reading that very differently. I was gonna say, what's vicious about DML? That was, in my brain that was very different. Victorious fights will grant us emeralds besides battle score, shall we say. So in the end, the clan with more emeralds wins the event and takes home the bigger prize. Again, it's basically get more emeralds, you win. Easy enough. So then, emerald mines. Players can test 5 emerald mines in total during the event. Each mine has its own specifications and restrictions. This is the important part and sort of the interesting part of the event from what I've read through so far. So mines with lower level restrictions produce less emeralds, while mines with higher level restrictions produce more. Also, clan leagues affect the production level of emerald mines and the number of emeralds rewarded for winning a battle. So I imagine the higher your clan league and the higher the level of your dragons, the more stuff you get, which is basically how the game works anyway. But when it comes to clan event stuff, you know, I guess it also makes sense in terms of trying to put people in the right brackets and such. So a level 20 mine, you can use dragons of up to level 20 to attack this mine, and it produces low amounts of emeralds per minute for the occupant clan. So there seems to be a lot of stuff that they're implementing where it's like, I'll get a bunch of low level dragons or a bunch of dragons to X level to do new event thing, which is sort of like what we do for the temples anyway, except I guess you could say that all of this stuff, like the Bottomless dungeon, is all your own choice whether you want to do it, and plus the Bottomless dungeon doesn't really work out like that properly. And then level 40 mine, you can use dragons of up to level 40, and then you get a moderate amount of emeralds. Level 60, you can use dragons up to level 60, it produces an average amount. Level 80, you use up to level 80, good amount. Level 100, you can use dragons up to level 100, it produces a high amount of emeralds. So it's very simple to understand. The higher the level, the more emeralds you get. So, attacking a mine. Similarly to arena fights, one opponent has to be chosen out of an easy, a medium, and a hard rival. Defeating hard opponents gives higher battle score, but it's also more challenging. Once the opponent is chosen, the fight begins, and the opponent team needs to be defeated to receive the reward for the fight. And we said for the first fight, for the fight. So the battle score calculation is based on the following parameters. Opponent difficulty, easy, medium, or hard. Enemy dragon bonus, defeating opponent dragons with higher levels is more rewarding. And win streak bonus. So this is basically a clan event X arena event at the same time, because this is basically exactly the same as Arena, except thrown into a clan event. Is this gonna mean that we get to do the Arena fights at the same time? Or are we gonna have to do this and then do the Arena as well? Because I don't want to have to do 2 lots of the Arena. I'm just saying, I don't enjoy that. But every player has 4 energy at maximum, and attacking a mine costs 1 energy. The refill timer of 1 energy is an hour. If a dragon participates in a battle for controlling an emerald mine, it needs to rest for a certain amount of time before it can fight again. It can fight outside the event. So we've got these cooldowns that they're talking about now, and if it's true that every single person has 4 energy max, then that means that that mitigates the bonuses that VIP users get, because if you didn't know, currently VIP users get tons more portal energy for doing things like arena fights, map battles and things like that. So if this is set to 4 maximum for everyone, that's actually quite good, and I would actually quite enjoy that. I've seen far too many things that VIP users get a distinct advantage for recently, so if that's actually going to work out the way that I hope it does, I'm going to be very grateful. So clan quests and revitalization tokens. Regular clan quests can be completed during the Emerald Wars for clan experience, clan coins, and revitalization tokens. What is that? Revitalization tokens make your resting battle-tired dragons ready to go to battle right away. Revitalization tokens skip the resting time and make your dragons ready for battle again immediately. So we have a new token, we have a new token currency coming. I actually did not read up far enough to know that. That's interesting, but whenever we see a new form of tokens, it means that we've got either new whale mark deals for it, it means that we can only get it through clan event stuff, or it of course means we just have to gem for it, and you know, the more currencies that they put in, the more money it's going to cost as a whole, because if you've got 15 different currencies, then you've got to pay for each one of them separately if you want to go full out. So, hearing that we've got new tokens is cool, because we don't really have a lot of stuff that immediately brings our dragons back, apart from, some of the portal energies and maybe just gems outright. But having revitalization tokens, I guess, sounds kind of cool. But, you know, people have been asking questions as per usual, and we wait for them to make a response to us, but I think for the most part, it's quite simple, sort of like with the Bottomless dungeon, but even the Bottomless dungeon, again, played out very differently to how it sounded, or how it was described, especially since, you know, people weren't expecting a sudden change from being, like, level 40 dragons to level 110, but, it sounds interesting, but I'm not a fan of clan events, and I usually get quite bored doing the arena as well, so I'm not sure if this is interesting enough for me to sound completely interested in it right now. I'm hoping that I get proven wrong, but those are my thoughts on it so far. Let me know what you think, because, it basically just sounds like control the point, capture the point, and fight off the others, and that's pretty much the only difference from what we do anyway. But I guess interesting nonetheless that they're putting in all of this new stuff. Well, in the meantime, we've got new dungeon or bottomless dungeon stuff to do and whatnot, but I do also want to, level up our Independence Dragon here. I did already hatch it just to take it out of the hatchery, but he's so cute. Look at him. Look at him. I don't know what it is, but this dragon, super adorable. Don't know. It's probably the gigantic head on the little boy. It makes him look like a bobblehead. You know, those that you just put on a shelf and then they just bobble around, and if they look like people, they can look really, really creepy. But in its adult form, everything looks quite proportionate. I enjoy my mate, quite a lot. But there is our little Independence Dragon. Realistically, we should level it up to level 20, shouldn't we? Just for the DCP, although rares don't get a great deal of points, but it's better than nothing. And then we've also got our Memorial Dragon that we should be hatching as well, because, they both came from the same time frame. Might as well add the both of them to our collection, and plus we need the space. in our hatchery. So we've got him, he gives us a bonus 105, and there is Little Pixie. I don't really think the name Pixie fits, such a weird-ass, boisterous-looking dragon. Especially with this body type, they all look so, I don't know, angry yet sort of sneaky at the same time. I don't know what it is about them, but they just look like they're ready to pound on someone, if that makes sense. I think you get what I'm saying, but either way, there we are, level 20. There is wonderful Little Pixie in his adult form. He looks sort of like a big fish in a big America costume, but there he is. He's got little flags on his back, a very cool guy overall, and you may or may not have already seen this as I was scrolling past, but I'm both happy and sad about this, because what did I say about the breeding den? You should not be trying to breed Gemini Alpha right now, because it will screw you over during the Dragon's Delight event. What did I say about that? What did I say? Again, I don't know why I do this to myself. It's because I'm like, probably not gonna get it. Might as well put it in anyway, because a lot of them have like 4-hour cooldowns. What's the big, what could go wrong? I don't know, you could actually get it. So yes, we've got another Gemini, and we've finally gotten a dragon out of this breeding blitz event, so we'll be able to hatch another Gemini Alpha. We only got one other Gemini Alpha, but we got like, I think it was 13 betas or something stupid. It was absolutely ridiculous how many betas we got at the end of the month. But the main reason that this is quite sad is because if you look at the moment, we are actually doing quite well in the Dragon's Delight event, and this is what I'm confused about. Why this particular Dragon's Delight event have people opted to not spend yet? Because we've still got 3,000 event currency, we've still got points to get for this reset, and before this reset came on, we were in first place, so we're pretty solid at the moment. I have not been logging in too frequently to do the refreshers properly, but there's a chance. But every time I say that with Dragon's Delight events, it gets snatched away from me in the last 2 seconds. So let's say there's absolutely no chance of me getting the Circus Dragon at all. If you didn't know, the Circus Dragon is actually like one of my favourites because I love his coloration and his design as a whole. So I really want him, but no, there is absolutely no chance at all that we get him from the Dragon's Delight event. None at all. Absolutely none-sees. Alright, we all decided on that. And yes, another thing to note, I have quite obviously been leveling up Nezha. That's where gems and such and resource and things have gone. I don't really want to make a, level 1 to 100 yet, because I want to do it all at once, and clearly Nahia, the Nezha dragon, is not at level 100 yet. She'll also be getting, he will also be getting a name change very soon, but main reason for this, of course, is for the Bottomless dungeon stuff. And even though Nezha as a whole is not the best dragon on its own, having a water and earth defensive dragon for the dungeon, super good. And you can actually go almost truly, air quotes, endless depending on the dragons that you have if you have the proper team for it, which we can't do that yet with our current team, but that'll be something that we will hopefully be able to play around with when we get Nezha in our group, shall we say. But in the meantime, we've got more Bottomless Dungeon stuff to do. If you're wondering where we're at in the Bottomless Dungeon, of course we've already opened the purple chest before, but we've got 1 chest here, we've got 2 chests, we've got 3 chests left to open. So we've got a blue, we've got a green, and we've got a green left to open, and then we will be done with all of the base chests, and then we'll move back on to redoing the purple chest about 1 billion times over until we get Doomsday. So that has been a lot of chest opening so far, but we've got these quests to do for now anyway. So perform 12 normal attacks and defeat 2 dragons with 1 blow 11 times. So I've been trying out some different sort of strats, especially with our Nezha dragon, but it seems like keeping Saini in first slot and Hermes in second slot seems to work out pretty well at the moment. Perform 12 normals and defeat 2 dragons with 1 blow. So we can easily do that. You know, again, the reason I put Sani in first slot is to get those, you know, defeat 2 dragons at once or defeat 3 dragons at once quests done. But you see, 1 dragon dies and then suddenly we've got level 106s here. Why does it have to be like that, huh? Huh? Why does it have to be this way? I just don't understand it. I just do not understand why. But alas, you know, we keep grinding. And I think the best thing for us to do is get a Chrono Nezha in when we've got, or when we get to the late game stage, so that they only need the healing at the end. Because otherwise, as you make your way through, the main dragons start to lose quite a bit of health. And that is no bueno if you want to get as many defeats as you possibly can. So main strat is use these 2 to get all the quests done at the beginning. And then, as you get towards the end, use the defensive dragon in the slot, and then go wreck some noobs, basically, is the general gist of it. But I'm already finding myself quite burnt out in my want to do the dungeon. Like last night, it was, what, 1 or 2 AM, and I was doing the normal DML stuff before I slept. And then it's like, oh, but I really can't be bothered to do the dungeon. I just really, really cannot be bothered. Which, not a good sign that it's already getting to that point. I wish it was not like that. But that is unfortunately what I've already been thinking as I've been playing the dungeon. So, God help us doing this every single day for the next billion years. So what is it? Defeat dragons with a weak attack. Ugh. Ugh. You know, all of this defeat with a weak attack stuff, it's obvious that the reason that they've implemented it is for the sake of, you know, forcing you to get less KOs as a whole while you're trying to finish stuff off, which I am not a major fan of. Because I just want to get as many KOs as I can while I'm doing the quests, obviously, and it's obvious that they're trying to limit us from doing that. Which kind of sucks, but I guess you could go, yeah, well, choose what you want to do rather than wanting everything. Jeez. Fine. I understand your concern. That doesn't mean it isn't annoying. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Dragon Fury to weaken these top 2. I hope that didn't kill them. God damn it! They're so weak when it comes to using Dragon Fury. I just wanted to make it so that they were like 1 hit away, so that then we could use Sani and finish them off. I need to remember, you have to literally touch them with your little finger. Just barely touch them. Don't even look at them. Just give them a tiny little squeeze. If you want to reduce their health when they're at that level range. But my god, talk about weaklings. Jeez, 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 Louise. And now he's asleep. Fantastic. This stupid hammerhead shark in the middle has been causing me so many issues, because if you don't kill him, he starts buffing, and it becomes a big problem. Like, if we attack now, that's gonna kill our dragon. You know what? I don't even want him here. Get out of here, hammerhead shark. I literally don't care about you. I don't want you getting in the way. As long as Hammerhead dies, I don't care. So I'm not having him buff, because when they start buffing, that's when you start getting some big problemos. I'm not even kidding. The actual enemies buffing in this is so different compared to normal. It's like sometimes you can get certain dragons that will never, ever buff themselves, ever. It's really weird. All of this defeating dragons quest stuff, it's kind of difficult to manage sometimes. But at least we've got Nezha now, although she might end up getting one shot, unfortunately. Can't really do anything here. Let's hope that they don't one-shot Nezha, shall we? Don't one-shot her. Don't. God damn you! Damn you, silly boy. You see, this is going to keep happening until Nezha gets fully upgraded, which is to be expected. But we do need to remember that Nezha at the moment is lacking a lot of enchantment stars. Nezha at the moment doesn't have fully upgraded abilities quite yet. That will be a coming change. But little Nezha will keep dying until that point, mainly because these dragons that we're going against are severely overleveled. But they're only like level 122, I guess. They're not that OP. But this is what's going to keep happening while you prio tasks over just getting as many wins as possible. When you start prioing getting wins, then the general gist is use all the defensive abilities, use the, what's the Mahuhas, you know, the training. Because if you didn't know, you can train a dragon, but then in the middle of the dungeon brawl, you can exit and you can train a different dragon, which is quite cool. I don't know if we've ever had the ability to do that before, because you can leave the battle, go upgrade a different dragon, although you have to go out of your way to train a different dragon every time, which is boring, and I usually don't bother as a result. But you do have the opportunity to do that if you're interested, and that will help you out quite a lot. Like, for instance, I could train one of my dragons, it could die, I'd leave, go train another one, and it actually helps out quite a lot. But I'm not caring too much about being optimal at the moment. I'm just focusing on every 6 hours logging in, getting it done, because until Nezha comes up, I don't care too much to be min-maxing. When Nezha comes, we will definitely be looking at potentially min-maxing. But we've got these 2 quests: defeat 2 dragons with 1 blow, defeat 6 dragons with a weak attack. We'll do that next time. So, for now, let's open Mr. Blue Chest, 75. We could take 500 or 60 dungeon tokens. Whatever, I'll take the 500 just so that we can potentially open the other remaining chests for now. So we heading downtown, opening up a green chest, and here we don't really get too much again. Dungeon tokens. Just think, each one of these could be a Doomsday Dragon. Game has just not wanted to do it for me. Curse you, game! It could have been a Doomsday! So, at this stage, this is where the dungeon gets really boring. Because now every single chest has been opened up for the grand total of, like, 500 dungeon tokens. Because, you know, I did take stepping stones to get us through the event. But I'm starting to think maybe that's not the best idea anymore, because otherwise the chests don't really do anything for you for the whole time that you're opening them up on the map. But now the only thing that we have to focus on is this 2000 chest. But that means that this chest takes like 4 resets, sometimes 3 resets to open up. I think there's definitely a huge disparity with this last chest, with how much it costs. I don't know why it's so expensive, and having to open it 15 times to be guaranteed the reward dragon. I don't know how you're going to do it 15 times, even with 4 days left. I don't really see it happening. I do not see it happening, and this is after we gemmed the beginning of it as well. So, I don't know. I think there's definitely some tweaks that need to be made to the dungeon as a whole. And it's going to be so boring not being able to open up anything for like reset after reset until we get enough points. But, you know, this is the dungeon that we have. This is how we deal with it. I have to say that people that have like 8 evenly leveled dragons, you can definitely have a much better chance of... Say you've got 8 dragons at level 100, you have a much better chance of getting to the level 130 stage or whatever it is, where the dragons sort of cap out, and just demolishing them for hundreds and hundreds, because it is possible to get hundreds and hundreds of wins in a row, especially with bonuses. But it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of getting the extra bonuses before that can happen. Because remember, at 1250, for example, you get plus 200%. And at 800, you get plus 100% to attack damage. So when you start getting those bonuses, you'll start to see a massive change in what your squad can accomplish. But man, until that point, it's just such a massive slog. I am really not sure how to feel about it as a whole, but you know, maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Who knows? I guess we will find out. But, you know, in the meantime, I guess we've got more Dragon's Delight stuff to do, although seeing more Dragon's Delight stuff makes me want to gouge my eyes out, so I don't think I can be bothered to do it right now. But I'm coming for you, top guys. I'm coming for my #1 circus freak. So for now, I'm gonna say my goodbyes. There's lots of random stuff happening in DML. It's hard to keep track anymore. I'm gonna have to start creating like notepad files of like different things to talk about, because I literally forget. I forget just how much stuff is going on at the moment. Don't know how they're going to manage everything. There's also a bundle out for the perfume if you care enough. I don't. Just mentioning it for anyone that does. So anyway, for now, I appreciate you being here and sitting here through these slogs of events. My god. But until next time, I will see you then.